Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. Today is obviously Sunday, November 3rd, 2013, and the local time is 4:13 Central Minnesota time. My name is Kafuma Kruma and I will be your host. My guest today is Montserrado County 2014 Senatorial candidate Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh, a fellow that many of us are familiar with. Honorable Kouyateh will speak to us for the next 2.5 hours about his ambition and decision to contest the upcoming senatorial election in hope of gaining your support and guidance for his political adventure. Honorable Kouyateh, I'd like to, first of all, let me extend my condolence to you for the passing of your great uncle, because of whom we had to postpone the show the first time, and then we postponed it again the second time when we were hit by the same tragedy here by this time last week, Sunday. So my condolences to you, and welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Koba. Good evening, everybody. I'm greatly honored to be your guest tonight on the show on the Bakrama, and I'm deeply grateful for the unity of our people, despite the numerous trapping of our times. Liberia has a formidable history that is rich of unity, advocates of sisterly countries which nurture the ties of our independence and yes, with strength in African unity. And I'm proud I'm the son of such a land, Liberia. My profound thanks goes to every Liberians, mostly those of our brothers in the diaspora, for condolence extended me for the death of my late grand uncle. I really appreciate it, and I say thank you so much. I really feel the brotherhood of our community. However, I would like to use the medium to first of all tell our brothers and sisters in the diaspora and in Liberia, thanks so much for their commitment in ensuring the peace that we are enjoying today, and also encouraging democracy, which also awakened some of us to seek for the senatorial. But we also like to use this medium to make a correction that Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh is not yet a candidate, but an aspirant, because I'm still having consultation with our community leaders, with the Liberian people and people of Montserrado counties, and I believe that once I'm given the benediction, I would officially declare that I'm a candidate. But for now, I consider myself an aspirant.
Thank you for the correction.
Yes, Mr. Kuma. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, we're still listening to you. Go ahead, unless you want to make that
my name is.
Remark. Yeah.
I was actually born. Yeah. Most people would like to know who is Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh. Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh was born in Sakitier in 1978, 24th December, with the union of Al-Haji Sheikh Al-Haji Moustapha Kouyateh and the late Haja Makabet Kerman. And I'm a businessman. I've been in business from 2015 up to present. And I've been doing my best for my country and my people, and I enjoy that. And I've also been involved in youth empowerment by encouraging young people, to be involved in the private sectors, and also encouraging young people, to disarm during the time of conflict. I played a major role in talking to young people the importance of peace and the importance of education, because that's the only key we have today to success. I believe that when a man is educated, he's wealthy. So we encourage young people to go to school, and most of them give ears. That is what today we can boast of. The young people have done extremely well. The literacy rate in Liberia has been reduced to some number. However, I'm awakened by the call of the Liberian people for social justice and for equality. And this call awakening that have actually made me to rise up and have an intention to contest for the senatorial of Montserrado County, but which is not officially known because I have to get the go-ahead from my people before I go forward to say I'm a candidate. You cannot marry a woman or see that girl or woman to the woman that you want to marry her before your parents knowing about it. So I'm still having consultation with my community, with the district, the 17th district of Montserrado County, and upon consultation with them, I will come back to you to let you know that I'm a candidate. So thank you so much for the time. I'm so happy that I'm invited here as a guest, and I'm availed to respond to all of your questions and your queries. May God bless you.
Thank you, Honorable Sheikh Kouyateh. I must admit, we have a lot more people here than I had anticipated. That is a good thing. Once again, my sincere sympathy to you, and thank you for pointing out the fact that you are not a candidate yet. That is indeed a significant correction. I believe when one of the other candidates came here, he had to make the same correction, including last night on another show, because obviously to call yourself a candidate at this time could put you in violation of the Elections Commission's guidelines. So I'm glad you caught me up on that. Now, folks, you've heard it, man. Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh. That is the man we've all come here to hear. We've heard him well. Obviously, there are some of you on here that are not strangers to this show. I can tell by the fact that some of you have already dialed *61 without me even calling you to do so. Now, for the rest of you who haven't done so yet, please be reminded that I've opened up your question line. So now will be the time. If you have any question, comment, or concern, this will be the time to dial *61 on your phone. Oh yeah, there you go. The questions are lining up. So keep dialing *61 on your phone, and we will begin taking your questions in the orders that they are received. Before I take our first caller for the night, Honorable Kouyateh, let me begin by once again thanking you for being patient through postponements, two different postponements, and now finally you are with us. But let me begin by asking you, Sheikh Kouyateh, if you were to consider making the run next year, 2014, I guess my first question would be, why 2014? Why are you deciding? Why are we talking about this now? Why did you think about this a few years ago when during the general election or during the last senatorial representative election? Why now? That would be my first question. The second one would be, have you ever thought about running for a representative position for your district as opposed to a senatorial position for the whole of Montserrado County? So let me begin with those two questions, and then we'll start taking questions from our audience here.
Thank you, Mr. Kerman. In response to your first question as to why I have chosen or I have been inspired by 2014 to be a contestant for 2014, I have not started thinking about this thing today. I had this thought on mine 10 years ago. And the reason why I have come out is that we have to be involved. When I say involved, our fullest participation is needed. The private sectors and the public sectors, when they work together, they make progress. I've been in the private sector for so many times, and I do know the needs of our people. I know what we lack of. And I believe that with my international contacts and my good relation with the people of Montserrado County, where I benefited through education, through trade and commerce, and where I enjoyed the democracy that today booming to come out and speak on your program. And any case in that of my inspiration. That is one. And secondly, why is it I didn't go for representative and I'm going to Senate? That's a simple thing. I believe that with my popularity and the need of the people of this county, Montserrado, the senatorial is a better chance for the young people to take the mantle. Montserrado County has already given the warning shout to every political leaders that they want a young man or a young woman who can transform this country from a donor conference to the investment conference. Our country and county have been known for begging. Liberia is number one on every international donor conferences, and we want to change that. We want to have investment conferences where we say to our partners that we bring this. You come with your expert and work out and make sure that things, work for our people. We want to change the face of Liberia from a begging state to an independent state. And that is why I have come. And I have the aspiration to continue to change that.
Okay. All right. Well said. Thank you. Well, let's begin taking questions from audience here. Trust me, there are so many of them lined up to go. So let's take the first one for the night. And folks, in case you haven't noticed, we have decided to go with the last 4 digits of your phone number, leaving your introduction up to yourself. Obviously, some of our callers have had issues with being introduced somehow. So from now on, we'll try to make a serious effort to call the last 4 digits of your number so that you can introduce yourself to the audience. With that said, we'll begin with 7867. 7867. Would you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Honorable Kouyateh?
Okay, good evening, Mr. Kuma, and good evening, Mr. Kouyateh. My name is Musa M. Keita. I'm calling from Minneapolis, to be specific. Thank you, Honorable Kouyateh, for the beautiful speech that he just delivered. I want to hit a nail to the head. You see, I've known you to be part of the private sector in our country, and your involvement in the private sector has brought a lot of fruit to the youthful community in our country. However, my candid advice is that it does not manifest into you running for the political office when you have no political idea or you have no history of advocacy when it comes to your community or in Montserrado. I again advise that your desire to run and those that encourage you to run should also advise you that you need more time to understand the dialectics of politics in Liberia. Otherwise, what's going to happen, Mr. Kouyateh, you're going to say, well, one of my nephews told me the story, and I have seen it. So that's my candid advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keita.
Thank you, Mr.
Keita. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mr. Keita didn't ask a question. He made a comment. That's
he made a comment.
That he made.
Yeah, he made a comment. It's up to you if you want to make any. If you want to comment on his comment, that's up to you.
In response to what Mr. Keita said, let me just respond to him. When you talk about politician, the best politician is a man who has independence. That he has financial independence. That makes you a politician. In Liberia, there's a saying that politics is a dirty game. Politics is not a dirty game to Sheikh Kouyateh. Politics, if I define politics, I define it in a way that it is a science where a man forgoes his private life and try to stand to make changes for the people, for the masses. And Sheikh Kouyateh have contributed, thank God that you have admitted, that have contributed a lot in the private sectors, that have brought advancement to our community, that have brought achievement to our people, that Sheikh Kouyateh, who started his life, his business, with $500 Liberian, which is less than $10 United dollars, can transform that less than $10 United dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars without being employed, but he created employment. That can tell you that when Sheikh Kouyateh is given a chance by the people, that's why you have in consultation with the people, that he's given a chance by his people, that he can transform Liberia, and you can have one of the best senators ever in the history of Liberia. I can tell you for sure, the businessman is a real man to be a politician because he has control over himself. I don't have to go in the Senate, and when we are having a debate, that I should be given the money to be a brat. I'm already strong financially. I can defend my people. I can defend myself. I don't want employment. I want a job for my people because I want to keep to help my people. I've been in the private sectors. I've encouraged a lot of investors in this country. I've encouraged a lot of investment in my country, and a lot of young people have enjoyed from my price in the private sector. But there's still a need for people. There are a lot of things I have to do. I cannot do when I'm in the private sector. I have to be an assistant. They will say he's in the private sector, don't trust him. But let me tell you, my brother, Mr. Kouyateh, don't be defeated. Everybody's an advocate. I'm an advocate. I think I'm one of the best advocates in this country. An advocate who will help to school to pay student tuition when they are out of school, or for mention of his name, is a good advocate. An advocate who will go there and make peace between people from home, from house to house, from community to community, from organization to organization, is a good advocate without partnering in newspaper. I don't believe in doing things with my right hand and my left hand knowing about it. So for your courage and your curiosity, I can tell you that Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh is not being fooled by anyone. He has been awakened by the crowded people. And I can tell you, I will make a big difference.
Okay. Thank you. We'll take the next. Thank you. We'll take the next caller here. Be reminded, folks. Tomorrow, Monday, we'll have a very special edition of this show. We're trying to make up for the 2 weeks that we were not having show. So believe it or not, tomorrow, CDC tough talking representative on Akaras Gray will be on this show tomorrow. Akaras Gray will grade. Honorable Gray will grade the Liberian government tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be a letter A grade, letter B, or letter C grade, but he'll be grading the performance of the government of Liberia tomorrow on this same show here tomorrow night about 7 p.m. Central. I believe that will be 6 p.m. Central, and then that will be 7 Eastern. We'll take the next caller, 0357-0357. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Honorable Kouyateh.
My name is Sheikh Al-Moustapha, calling from Minnesota. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, for giving me the opportunity. And I want to say thank you to Mr. Kouyateh for coming on tonight after two attempts, we couldn't make it because of the death in our community. And I want to sympathize with you for the death of your uncle, first of all. And
thank you, sir.
Secondly, I want to go to the question directly. We learned that Ambassador George Weah is going to be also a candidate for the senatorial position come 2014. And we know George Weah, I don't know your level if it comes to the financial standing, but we know for the fact that George Weah, he got some money, and he's been in the system for quite some time. He's a former presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate as well. Also, we know that other brother Ali Sila, who also has been in the system, he's been working in government and been working in some, he's been making some lot of differences and working in advocacy position and other things in Liberia. I personally never heard about Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh, except for recently. In politics, you talk about, you're popular, you say your popularity can help you. Personally, I don't know a lot about you. I live in Liberia throughout my life, except for 2003, when I came to the United States. However, my question to you, why do you really depend on to defeat George Weah and Ali Sila, people that have some track record in Liberia? That's my first question. My second question, you say you are consulting with your community, your family, and other community within Montserrado. So if your community happen to decide, okay, Mr. Kouyateh, don't run for this position, we feel that you're not a better candidate for now, will you step aside? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kenny, for your question. First, in response to your first question, I saw the jumble candidate that you call Ambassador George Weah. I personally have great respect for Ambassador George Weah. He's a good friend of mine. And when my late mother passed away, he was the only politician who visited my family and consoled us. I have great respect for him. But in also called Ali Salah, you mentioned the name Ali Salah. Ali Salah is a brother, and we are not going into election. We are not opponents. But I can tell you something for sure. That Liberia has had leaders based on relation. Liberia has had leaders based on political linkage. Liberia has had leaders based on love. But this time, Montserrado will show to the people that she needs a leader of confidence, a leader who has worked, who has done something for his community. When you talk about advocacy, what is advocacy? Calling a radio show or going to the community to say, oh, this community is dirty? I don't believe in that. I tell you, I'm one of the best advocates. And my term of advocacy is different from others because I believe in intellectual curiosity. Well, I see something ugly. I don't have to say it's ugly. I take my time to change and make it look good. That's my advocacy. So when you talk about popularity, I am popular. I am known. Probably if you don't know me, most people call me Farafina Mansai, and some call me Sheikh Kouyateh. My full name is Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh. And I can assure you, my dear brother, that if my people, the community, the districts of Montserrado County, when I say districts, I mean the 17 districts of Montserrado County, decide to say, Mr. Kouyateh, we don't want you to run today, and I can tell you that I will step aside. Because Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh is ambitious to serve his people. But he's not greedy. He's not a tyrant. I have a job. I don't need employment. I only want my people to give me a chance. So at least I can get the key for them and open the gate where they can enter. And have access to be accessible to equal education. Well, the primary education and secondary education will be prioritized. Where we have like 25,000 students failing in the UL entrance, the result was based on government failure to encourage primary and secondary education. And that is what I want to change of that. There are people today dying of preventable illness, curable illness, because the health sector is not enforced and nothing is being done. And everybody wants to depend on government, donor conferences. Our country is very wealthy. Our country is very rich. But we don't have the mentality. We don't have the idea, the ideology to advance our country. But we have actually perfection in begging. And that's why we want to change. We want to change it because the private sector has to be involved. The great United States where you live, it is the private sector that changed America, not the public sector. You know that. And I can tell you, we talk about publicity, I'm known. I'm known for my good job. I'm not known to be a footballer. I'm not known to be on radio show or being a radio presenter. I'm a professional businessman, and I have helped to transform the life of many. I think that's enough for me. But I can assure you that if the community wants to step down, I will step down. I want to be senator, not for my house, but for the people. If the people say go, I will go. When they say don't go, I will not go. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. So many of you just joined us within the last few seconds or so. I do want to take this time to welcome you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. As many of you know, tonight, obviously, we are hosting Montserrado County Senatorial Aspirant, not candidate yet. Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh is on the line from Liberia. And so this is the question and answer period. If you have any question, comment, or concern, by all means, please dial *61 on your phone, and we will take your question over to Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh. Moving on, we'll take the next caller, 1018-1018. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for Kouyateh.
Hello, this is Musa Willie calling from Pennsylvania, Coatesville.
Welcome, Mr. Willie.
Mr. Kouyateh, It's a pleasure having you on the
Yeah,
show.
Willie.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I listened to your explanation, and currently I'm not endorsing the candidate yet, but I'm interested in discussing the issue that is what affecting the Liberian people. With regards to the current noise that has been, or the current concern that has been expressed in many quarters, including Liberian in the diaspora and home regarding generation gap. We all know that we had 14 years of civil crisis. People got displaced. People got killed. And we have seen companies. We have seen the National Oil Company invite people from Ghana to come and occupy positions. So what are some of the strategies that if you go into the House of Senate, you will introduce to close the generational gap that is unfolding right now in Liberia?
Thank you, Mr. Willie.
Mr. Willie, your question was unclear. Could you please repeat the question? The line was unclear.
Yeah. Mr. Willie, go. Could you please restate your question again?
Hello?
Mr. Willie? Yeah, Mr. Willie.
Hello? Yeah.
So I was interested in discussing the issue because I'm not supporting any candidate right now. But my question has to do with the vacuum that is filled in Liberia when it comes to professionals. We noticed that the National Oil Company invited people from Ghana the other day to occupy positions of expertise that they couldn't find, they could not just locate in Liberia. And it's becoming something very concerning to Liberians in Liberia and the diaspora. Going to the House of Senate, which is your wish, if you go into the House of Senate, what can you do to address the issue of generation gap in Liberia? What are some of the strategies that you're going to introduce?
Thank you.
Mr. Willie, the people that the Liberian government brought from Ghana, are these Ghanaians or Liberians in Ghana? Do you know?
They were Ghanaians. They had to bring Ghanaians, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Kouyateh, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Willie. Thanks for the clarification. You don't have support for anyone yet. But I can tell you the reason why the Liberian government is NOCAL is going to Ghana to have people from there, Ghanaians from there, come and work at NOCAL, is that we have not yet instituted professionalism in our various universities where we can have. I don't even believe we have or engineers. We don't have engineers to do the work. So you can say because Liberians, the NOCAL is a Liberian company, so we need Liberians to work there. Why we don't have qualified Liberians for that job? So all we have to do when I go there is that, which I believe, that once I'm given the support of my people and contest any contender, I will win. And when I win, the first thing I will do is to make sure we have vocational institutions where we encourage people to go into trade to learn that whatever they can do to be professional in it. In white industry, we have to encourage people to go and start with that. When they become an engineer for that, then we don't have to go to Ghana. But we have to go to Ghana for now because we don't have people to do the work. We don't even have such studies at the University of Liberia for now. So when Ghanaians and Nigerians and Kenyans, we can hire sometime and come and do the work. So I don't think that's a problem. What we have to do is encourage vocational institutions like we have to encourage that. We want to also encourage to have something like that at the University of Liberia. But for now, we cannot blame the government. The government will not take an accountant and carry him to do a construction job as an engineer, knowing whether the man is just an accountant, he's not an engineer. So I don't think that we can have problem with NOCAL for that. We have to have problem with ourselves. We have to empower ourselves in that case. So that is why we have to encourage people to seek their education, because if you go to the University of Liberia, everybody wants to do business management. People want to do accounting. Nobody's willing to do engineering. And nobody's even willing to do agriculture. Just few students doing it. So that is why NOCAL has to go to Ghana to have someone there. I'm sorry I'm not a spokesperson for NOCAL, but I think I can make some justification based on that. Thank you.
I think the second leg of that question was, if you were elected Senator of Montserrado County, how would you help to bridge the generational gap in Liberia? Generational gap. Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, what we do, we have to encourage young people to put in more time for education. And we also have to encourage them that the country relies on them, that Liberia cannot move forward without the fullest participation of the young people. So we have to be involved in all sectors, the oil sectors, the mining sectors, all of the sectors that can progress our country. We have to be involved in it. So we have to encourage them. Like those students who have interest in it, if the university is not yet providing that study, we give them scholarship to go out and study. And when they come back, they can have vacancy for that. So that's what we do. We encourage, education. That's a priority for that. That's the only solution for that. We encourage education, where our people will have some level of education to profession that job, and they can come and do it. And there will be no competition for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, moving on, we'll keep taking questions here. Again, a considerable number of you just joined us. This is impressive. So for those of you who just joined us, I say welcome to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. We are hosting Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh from Liberia. He's an aspirant, not a candidate yet, an aspirant for Montserrado County 2014 senatorial election. So he's taking questions. So if you have one question, comment, or concern, please dial *61 on your phone. We'll get a question over to the honorable man. So let's take the next caller here. 6105. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for Honorable Kouyateh.
First of all, let me begin by giving thanks to you, Mr. Kraman, for your programs. And it's one of the programs I love to be on most of the time, having a dialogue with those in diaspora and those in the motherland. Secondly, I want to give thanks. I also want to give thanks to you for the courageous steps he's taken based on his vision and mission he has. I was not really on to listening to most of the things he said, but I was listening to some of the questions he was answering, and it's on that basis that I will make a comment and then follow by a question. Now, somebody asked a question regarding the oil, and so we don't have the qualifications, so we got to go outside of Liberia. Well, the comment I want to make is your critics taking Liberians are seeing it's not even time to talk about oil. We have resources that we can't even manage. I live in Nigeria. When Nigeria started discovering oil, they started adding courses to their higher institution of learning, courses like petroleum engineering, other courses that they could train their own people to take care of the resources they have. So Liberia is saying to me and many others that it's just about an individual. Like, you know what I'm saying? We discover it right now. We should just get it out quickly. No preparation. Okay? But your view is different from that anyway. But there are many of us who don't even believe that we should even be talking about oil bill when we have other resources that we cannot manage properly. Now, the question is this. Honorable, again, as I said, I really admire people who are planning to join this race. And I really, really, really like that. And I can tell you right now today, thank you so much. And I hope to meet you in Liberia probably when I'm there. The question I have for you the question I have for you is, what actually is the vision that you have for Montserrado County that may end up not to be just Montserrado alone, but may affect the entire country as a whole? What kind of vision, what do you want to really bring on the table that is not already there? That's the question.
Thank you, Mr. Zeze. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Kouyateh, go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. It is a vision and mission of every young people to cast a mice away. And I can tell you that mice is social injustice, corruption. These are some of the things that actually set our country backward. Liberia is the oldest country, the second oldest country in Africa, and the oldest country in West Africa. And Liberia referred to Nigeria as Big Brother. And why do we call Nigeria Big Brother? Because Nigeria is advancing progressively, where other countries are moving 90 degrees positive, and we are going backward 90 degrees. So I have a vision to change that by encouraging privatization, where we encourage industries. We encourage financial institutions to come in. We encourage banking and other stuff. Which we also encourage the health sector to help our people, to educate them. Getting education is a priority. That's the first thing. The second issue has to be done with, in the private, that has to be done with encouraging people where they have to do some training, vocational training, because everybody want to get out of high school and go to university, and somebody graduate, they don't have a job to do. So we also have to encourage people to go to vocational institutions where we have to enforce the government, talk to the government to encourage their sectors, where we have a lot of people involved, then we can help in the private sector. Because let me tell you something, Liberia cannot move forward with just the government. The government alone cannot do everything. The people have to be willing. When you hear people criticizing government, then time for election, you hear people saying, oh, this representative is not doing well. How can you expect the representative to do well? Well, you ask them to give you money to build your toilet house. How can a man build a home? You don't have a toilet house attached to it. How can you live in a community? You don't have a plumb in the community. And you want the people to do it for you. So when they want power, you tell them to do it for you. So when they do it for you, and they go in a house, they don't do anything for you. They don't care for you because what? You beg them. You forgot what they should be doing for you. You ask them that they should give you money. And they give you money, so they go in there. So they won't do the best thing for us. So the true reflection of the assembly, of the parliament, is the people of Liberia. So we want to change that. We want to change Liberia from begging state to independent state.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. And to all of you who've asked questions, if you have follow-up questions, by all means, please dial *61. We will be taking follow-up questions. Quickly here, for the record, one of our callers, in person of Musa Wole, wants to make a clarification that when he made mention of Lokal bringing people from Ghana to work in Liberia, that was just a case study. He used Lokal as an example. It wasn't an indictment, to say Lokal is bringing people, and so therefore he wasn't indicting that entity. He was just using it as a case study, as an example. All of us know that because we learned recently that the government just brought some riot police from China, for instance. So anyone that could have just been just as good as Lokal. So he wants to state that for the record. So moving on, we'll take our next caller for the night, 2212-2212. 2212. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Honorable Kouyateh. 2212.
Yeah, how are you, Mr. Kouyateh? My name is Obi. I'm calling from the state of Tennessee. I got a little comment and a question to ask you. From my individual point of view, listening to your disposition, I think you are unprepared. In a sense that, and I also think you are, if you decide to go into the race, even though you have not gone into the race yet, but should you decide to go into the race, I think you just want to be a spoiler. That's what I think. That's my individual view. One, the reason is, you just told us that you are consulting the elders in the community. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said something like that, and I'd like to know what community is that. So why if the elders come? You also said that if the elders ask you to step aside, you will step aside. So that is the reason why I said you were unprepared. Okay.
Point of correction, Mr. Bamba, Mr. Obi.
Yes, sir.
I didn't say elders. I said the community.
Yeah, you said the community.
Montserrado has 17 districts. Montserrado has 17 districts. And then a senator has to be voted by the 17 districts. So before you come out to be a candidate, You have to be approved by the zoning district. They have to give you the benevolence and give you the go-ahead. I'm very much prepared. If I'm not prepared, I will not have consultation.
Okay, Mr. Kouyateh, let's let OB finish with a question, with a comment and question here, and then we'll give you the floor.
All right, Mr. Kouyateh, thank you for that correction, but I still think you are unprepared. You say you've been advocating, and you are an advocate, according to you. And you want to be a senator. A senator goes into a house that's going to be making law for the country. But I want to ask you, there are several Grandidians that have been incarcerated or that have been jailed by the government for several months, maybe a year, without due process. Maybe it was quite recently that they were taken to court after some noise were made. And I want to know, what is your view on that, and what was your voice? Number one. And number two question is, you say you're from Seclepier, that's where you were born, in 1978. Why not Seclepier, but Monrovia? What can you do for Monrovia that you cannot do for Seclepier?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother.
Mr. Obi, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Is that okay?
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr.
Your first question as regarding Grandidians. The first question as regarding Grandidians. I was in Grandidia with the president when the Ivorian president came, and we had a traditional meeting where the elders are discussing to have a peace initiation. And I can tell you that I have been advocating, but it is those in prison are there for justice. And Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh is in the private sector. He doesn't have any power to change the rules of law. We are talking to government. We are speaking through the justice ministries to make sure that the people go through the proper channel, to be investigated, to be judged, let the truth come out. But Sheikh Kouyateh will not say he going to put them out. He doesn't have the power to do that. And secondly, as regards me born in Seclepier, my Seclepier Nimba County, and I contested for Nimba County as a senator, and I want to contest Montserrado. Interestingly, I grew up in Montserrado County, school here, and lived all of my life here. That's one. And secondly, Montserrado County is one of the beautiful places in Liberia where I believe that once I'm elected as senator, I can tell you it will almost be like I'm a president. Because Montserrado County is the birthplace of Liberia. It's where we all say the love of liberty brought us here. And I can tell you to remind you, probably you don't know, that when Liberia was at a stage of division, it was me. And when I say me, that name Kouyateh, where it came from, restore peace and unity between the settlers and the natives. And Montserrado County is so refined to the extent that it is a diversified county that do not have one a special dialect to be spoken in the market, neither does it have a special religion. So I believe anyone who believes in, who is a true patriot, who is a unifier, is tied by being a leader for a place that you know, that you grew up. I was born in Seclepier, but I didn't grow up in Seclepier. But Montserrado County, we have a transformation. That's the image of Liberia. And I can tell you, when people come to Liberia, they reach to Monrovia, they see Monrovia is faded out, it's a shame for us as Liberians. So I tell you, Sheikh Kouyateh was tied from Montserrado County because Liberia was giving birth to Montserrado County. Then from there, Sheikh Kouyateh will go to Nimba Seclepier for vacation to speak to the people and do some development there. But as I'm concerned, I'm from Montserrado County, and I represent Montserrado County, and I feel proud to be a senatorial aspirant for Montserrado County. Thank you.
Mr. Kouyateh, before I take the next call, though, just taking that last caller's question a little bit further. I guess the question was given on the premise that you like one of your other contender who was on this show have both spoke about being advocates, youth advocate or advocates in general. And I think that question was given against the background that if you are an advocate and there you are, a considerable number of people were allegedly, arrested and imprisoned without any due process. whether or not you were successful in securing their release. Did you make your voice heard? Did they even bother you? Did you make any attempt, say anything through the media, through a government official, through any parties involved as to the idea of people being imprisoned, indefinitely without going through the court system? I think that's what that question was mainly, speaking about. Did you do that at any point in time, or did it even trouble you that there were people locked up without being tried?
In response to that, I spoke with the Minister of Internal Affairs.
Okay.
I met him and I discussed with him, and I also spoke with the National Correctional Council Chairman, Chief Zanzakawa. And that's how we organized the conference in Grand Jude, where the president went and the voting president went. Because those in custody are not there because they committed a crime in Liberia. But the crime they committed it is claimed that was committed to the Ivorian government. So that is why we called upon the Ivorian government, the Liberian government. We met, we had a discussion, and I believe very soon you will see the progress have been made. But I'm not one of those who like to go on radio station to say I have done this to my people. When you have problems, when there's a problem in my community, what I do, I go and resolve the problem and keep it quiet. I don't have to go and say I make peace.
Okay, all right, that's fine by me. We'll take the next caller here, but first, once again, please be reminded that tomorrow evening we have a very special edition. We'll take one of our two guests that we were forced to cancel 2 weeks in a row. Obviously, one of them is Sheikh Kouyateh that we are hosting tonight. And so tomorrow Monday evening by 6 o'clock Minnesota time, which is Central Time, we will be hosting CDC former Secretary General, now CDC Tough Talking Representative Honorable Akaras Gray will be our guest tomorrow. And Honorable Gray will be grading the performance of the Liberian government. That's how he's put it. Honorable Gray will grade the government's performance tomorrow. You do not want to miss that. So we'll take the next caller for the night, 1963-1963. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for Honorable Kouyateh. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
1963?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing
you.
you.
Yeah, you're on. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. El Donzo from the Formosa News Department, and also the former Secretary of the Federation of Liberian Mandingo in the United States of America. I just have a comment. My comment has to do with Honorable Sheikh Kouyateh. For those who don't know this gentleman, I know him 15 years ago. I have worked with him. I know his start of working. I know the kind of commitment he has for our beloved country. I know his potential. I know his credibility. And I believe strongly that once he's given the opportunity to serve as senator, he will deliver to the fullest. This gentleman here, he's one of those people in our community. When I was going to the high school, at 7-day Adventist High School, and he attended MC Moreover College. So we interacted through the student council government. So he was on the student council government at the MCTC and Moreover College, and I was at the SDA. So he was able to establish a connection where SDA and MC were able to work together for the first time, and we produced a very strong press department that worked together up to the present time that continue to provide opportunities for our young Liberian people in high school who want to become a journalist. This guy initiated that. So I know him very well, and I believe strongly that once the opportunity is given to him, he can deliver. So, Honorable Sheikh, you have my vote, you have my support, and on this conference, I'm pledging $200 for your campaign. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Wow.
Mr. Donzo. Thank you so much.
That's impressive. Thank you. And if I may ask you, Mr. Donzo, before I let you go, you mentioned quite a few portfolio for yourself there. So, are you supporting Mr. Kouyateh in your official capacity? Are you combating the news department of the Federation you claim to be a part of, or this is just an individual support?
I am supporting this gentleman as the president and CEO of Voice of Mandingo website. That's one.
Okay.
Yes. So,
all right, thank you.
Yeah, I can't speak on behalf of the Mota. Yeah, he has my endorsement.
Thank you.
All right,
thank you, Mr. Dozo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Your hard work is highly appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Kouyateh. Go ahead. There you go. There you go. You got a big thumbs up there. Not just kind words of positive introduction, but also a $200 pledge without even asking or without being asked for it. So, thank you, Mr. Dozo. Mr. Kouyateh, unless you want to add to that, we'll keep moving on. Do you care to comment on that, or just go on? Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Dozo just shocked me. I don't like people to mention some of the things that I do. Like what he said, when I was in Monrovia College, I served as senior senator of the student council government. At the same time, I served as the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And where I connected the various high schools in Monrovia at the time. And we had a connectivity. So whenever there was election or there was program, most
we just lost Honorable Kouyateh. The line just dropped, and obviously he's going to be back quickly, I assume. But yeah, we just lost Mr. Kouyateh. For those of you in the queue, please continue to be there. Please do not leave us. We are very close. So the next person will be 1454. So whatever you do not lose your spot. Just stay where you are, and then we'll come back to these follow-up callers. Those of you who just joining us, let me welcome you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show once again. Tonight we are hosting Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh, an aspirant for Montserrado County senatorial position in 2014. So he was taking questions, comment, concern, and advice from the audience. So if you have any one of those, please dial *61 on your phone, and we will keep you in the queue. As soon as Mr. Kouyateh returns, we'll get your questions, comments, or concerns over to him. There are a lot of you here who want to thank you for doing so, and please remember to join us tomorrow evening. We'll have Honorable Akaras Gray, CDC Tough Talking representative, will attempt to grade the performance of the Eli Johnson Sirleaf government on this show tomorrow. You do not want to miss that. While we are with Sheikh Kouyateh, maybe this will be a great time for a quick break. We will take a short, quick music here. Please don't leave. It's for your entertainment. And as soon as Sheikh comes, I promise you will stop the music and go right on. Here is the music for you.
They got me again. You have a delicious. They got me again.
I own nothing.
I want business, so what got more punishment for them? That ain't been my salary.
Mama. I'm not Bobo.
The more competition, that's why I'm abrogating. But I can't tell you now how much they are competition. No slap. I slap the on there.
After every 6 years, different phases, different platforms. Some claiming to be the right one. For another year has come. Who's gonna save us? Nah. Who's gonna wipe away our tears? They got me again. From the east to the west, west to the north, from the north to the south, they got me again. From the air to the grind to the land, straight back to the sea, they got me again. That's also TMB for overseas, coming with la logic, they got me again. Be careful who you call your leaders, cause these suckers, they are so OG, they got me again. They got me reap what they never sold, got me eat the food that a man never cooked, they got me again. Coming suppressive foe. Coming back to the land that they disrupt and control. With all type of strategy, calling them for the test, but I said I fought it. They got me to lie, got me to see, got me jelly, contre jelly, elephant me. I feel it got me again. With free regulation, free water rest, and then free education. They got me with money, got me with car. Everything I said, I so people morale, but I know which I know them. They can't fool no more if they try, but I share which I choke them. They've been doing this in rock or agent. This time we can take it, we will force their seats for years. They got me with that bunch of lies. They got me. Tell them to fly. They got me. So make it poor people cry. They got me. Medicine man, baby. With all type of flyers. So there is control with an ugly picture. Come here up hope for the future. The future what they finish selling to the foreigner. So send up back to the store. They say we native people, we belong to the store. My people just better wait.
I just got a call from Sheikh that his phone ran out of battery, so he's trying to switch to another phone. He promised to be with us in less than 5 minutes, so that's the update. Please stay with us. Sheikh will be here shortly.
If you want for you better know who ought to vote for. This time, no ammunition. Yeah, everybody hates, so they taking precaution. Coming input and guns. Don't mind them. La so 419. So coming with the Quran and the power. They coming last day, God sending you to brew us. We know they're not so liars. They can do anything to get the power. Coming for the youth in attention. What's the brain with so wrong information? No more election, so selection. You get connection, you can't enter the mansion. Come share innocent blood. Come kill people, cheering rappers, then in folklore. We know them, that's so boyo them, that's so liar them, that's so chaos them.
Which I know them. They can't fool no more if they try, but I share which I told them. They've been doing this in rock or agent. This time we can take it, we will force their seats for years. They got me with a bunch of lies. They got me. Tell them to fly. They got me. So make it poor people cry. They got me. My people, you better shine your eyes.
Throughout the campaign, I assured our people that if elected, we would wage war against corruption, regardless of where it exists or by whom it is practiced. Today, I renew that pledge. Corruption under my administration will be the major public enemy.
La history.
Gonna save us. Gonna save us. Gonna wipe away. Gonna save us. I wanna know. Gonna save us. Be the children. Gonna save us. Mama and Papa they die. Gonna save us.
Liberia!
Now my motherland, I be where them bomb me. That's why I started the hustling. So if you don't know me, don't judge me. We don't want gunshots, we don't want po. All we want is equal rights and peace to make our dough. Liberate you and me, liberate me and you. Let's live in harmony and peace who prevail. So what is right and good and take our children back to school. Hard work and determination and we will fail. Economically, strategically, physically, we can make a difference automatically. Let's live in unity, all for one and one for all. I am proud to be a Liberian, and I don't care what anybody will say. I will jump and sing and shout hooray, 'cause today is our Independence Day. Liberia, oh our day. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, no more war. Liberia, Liberia. Capable of doing wrong. All we have to do is join hands and sing this song. We are free, Liberia, we are free. Oh, more war, forever we are free. One time when we are, oh my baby, and if we are not right, oh, more than fire, you mapa, remember, bomba, Liberia, are you ready? Jump and shout hooray, school face where boy I am proud to be a Liberian, and I don't care what anybody will say. I will jump and sing and shout hooray, 'cause today is our Independence Day. Liberia, oh our day. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, no more war. Liberia, Liberia. Party! You know, time to shake that stress off. Forget about the past. It's dead and gone. Now sing with me. Let's go. Say whoa, whoa, say whoa, whoa, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. When I say screw, you say face. Screw, face. Screw, face. When I say screw, you say face. Liberia, Liberia, say Liberia, Liberia, Monrovia, 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 pimpini, 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 pimpini. That's what I'm talking about. Liberia, it's your day. Jump up, hey, put on, jump up, hey, put on, hey, put on, hey, put on, hey. Now what's your body? Shake your body, shake your body. Now shake your body, shake your body. So bend down, oh, Liberia, bend down, oh. Bend down, oh, Liberia, bend down, oh. Say put your hands up, put your hands up, This is Crew and the Fits, Liberia, oh our day. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, no more war. Liberia, Liberia.
Hello?
Sheikh.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for coming by. Well, folks, Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh is back with us. We apologize for the break in between. We always have issues when we host people from far away from across Atlantic. There are a series of technical issues. So I'm glad he came back. And so even though some people could not wait through the break, and hopefully some of them will make a comeback. So we'll go ahead with those of you in the queue here. We'll go to 1454. I told you you were going to be the next person for questioning. So we'll take 1454, 1454. Your name, where you calling from? Well, wait a minute. Before we do that, where were we, Sheikh? You were talking about. I don't think we exhausted.
We were speaking about well, like what Mr. Donzo said. I was just trying to make mention of what he said.
Okay, that's it. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Now you don't like like for people to describe you about what you do, and that's a little troubling for me. They have got to say your good things, otherwise, how do you think you're going to win the election if you don't want to be?
No, Mr. Kumar, I said I don't like to say what I do, but when people say it, sometimes make me feel ashamed, because I just like to do things, without my left hand knowing about it. But people who is done for, when they say it, I feel proud. I feel very proud tonight, and it also motivates me to do more for our people in our community.
Okay. Yeah, that's how it should be, so let other people say it. But thank you. So 1454, 1454. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for Honorable Kouyateh. 1454.
Okay, thank you very much. This is Vadi A. Talawade, calling from Upper Darby, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Vadi, my brother.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kouyateh. Looking at Montserrado to be the strongest hold of the opposition Congress for Democratic Change, and also all the political parties involved, if you are eligible to contest, do you think, you can win this political seat, or you are just getting involved in this process to boost up your popularity? That is one. Two, you being an entrepreneur for over 15 years, what has been some of your contributions in the private sector? And what kind of business are you involved in? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Trawale, and we apologize for the wait. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Kouyateh.
Thank you, Mr. Trawale. Thank you so much. Your first question has to do with the opposition, the CDC, having a stronghold in Montserrado County. I can tell you that once I am approved by the people and chosen by them to contest, I can tell you that I will win, because I am representing the victims of Liberia backwardness, which include the youth, the adults, the women and children of this country. I have their support, because they want to be weak. Their tears to be wiped away. And I can assure you that I have been given that mandate by them to help them, to help them, rescue them from falling apart. And I can tell you that Liberia is at a stage where the young people have to wake up. It is not a time for name. Liberia is at a stage right now at the top of a mountain where it's about to fall down into a valley. And the moorings, all we have to do right now as a young people is to grab our moorings, not to let it go, and divert it from backwardness to forward. That's one. The second issue that has to be done, probably I didn't get it clearly, about my I don't know if it is about my achievement in business. I have done a lot in business. I have been in various sectors in business. When there was a need for water, I was the first man in this country that established a water company called Peace Water. When Liberian people were in need of safe drinking water, that's the time I invested in that business. And then when there was a need for milk, when there was conflict in this country, where our people were catching dogs and eating them, they were eating uneatable animals, I chartered a cargo flight with 44 cows, and I brought it to this country, slaughtered them, and sold it to our people with 55% discount. And from there, I went into equipment parts and services, where when the public works was out of equipment, there was a need to help our people to build road to marketplaces. I provide equipment for public works, where they rent my equipment, and now people have access to go to market. And there was a need to connect the southeastern part of Liberia, that includes Maryland, River Gila and Sano, to Monrovia and Montserrado County. I took upon myself, and I got my international partners. We came in, and we were the first company that paved that road from Harport to Fishtown. When it comes to what I'm doing right now, I'm involved in international trading. What I'm representing a cargo company that have about 45 vessels. At the same time, I'm also into construction, and I'm also into engineering, and I provide services. As to what I do in my private life, I have also established something in the community called like a garbage collection process initiation that we are doing now in every part of Montserrado County. But people pay for that service. I encourage young people to come and collect garbage from every homes, and they are paid monthly $7,000 Liberian dollars, which is equivalent to almost $100. I'm doing that. That's my personal son. That's not part of the business. But we are paying people for that service. So I'm a businessman, and I have done a lot for my people, and I believe that when I'm given a chance, I'll do a lot more.
Mr. Kouyateh?
Yes, sir.
Once again, thank you for coming back. I believe what Mr. Talawale's question boils down to, at least one of the questions was, are you considering to run for Montserrado County Senator position because you truly believe that you can win that election, or you just want to make a name for yourself? That's one of Mr. Talawale's questions. The second one was, since you're such a successful businessman, what are some of the contributions you've made to the private sector as a successful businessman? And then, obviously, the other question you answered that when you said what kind of business you're into. I know you just addressed all of the businesses that you are into, but the other two questions, I didn't see those answers coming handy. Are you just running for this? Will you be running because you want to make a name for yourself, or you running because you truly believe that you can win this thing? And then, what contribution? What are some of the contributions have you made to the private sector? Those were the questions.
Thank you. For the first question, the noble people of Montserrado County have already sent a signal of victory, and they also serve as a warning to political Goliaths, those big names you call in politics today. That when I'm given the chance, I'm chosen by the people to contest. My intention is not for political debut, nor marketing, but for the insurance of the choice of the voices. And I can assure you that when you hear that Sheikh Kouyateh is taking part in the election, I'm not going to try. I'm not going to make name. I'm going to win for the people. That's the answer to that question. The second question as to what has been my impact in the private sector. Sheikh Kouyateh has used his little income and have been around the world, encouraging foreign partners to come and do the investment. If you check the oil sector, there are groups of Sheikh Kouyateh brought in the country through the oil sector. The mining sector, the same. We are encouraging foreign partners to come to work with us, to have a partnership with us. So I'm trying my best. I believe that what I'm doing is sufficient for now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Over the break again, when earlier today we lost communication, as is always the case when we host people from across the Atlantic, and so some of you left. In return, some new callers have just arrived. So I do want to welcome those of you who just joined us. I want to welcome you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. We are well over an hour and a half into today's show. Probably be here for less than another hour, but we want to welcome you. And we are at the point where Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh, Montserrado County Senatorial 2014 Senatorial Aspirant is now entertaining your questions, comments, and or concerns. So if you have any question, comment, or concern, then please dial *61 on your phone, and we will take your questions over to Honorable Sheikh Kouyateh. Also, be reminded that tomorrow night, we'll have Honorable Karas Gray on this show about 6 p.m. Minnesota time, which will be 7 p.m. East Coast time. He'll be discussing the government of Liberia. Last but not the least, after this show tonight, if you wish to listen to a repeat broadcast of Honorable Kouyateh's appearance today, by all means, please dial 559-726-1299 with the same access code you used to come on the show, at least up until I can have time to upload the show on YouTube. So those are the announcements for now. We will go ahead and take some more questions. 59, and by the way, we've decided from here onward that we'll be calling the last four digit people phone number so they can introduce themselves, because some people have had problem with the way they've been introduced. So we just made that policy, no offense. So 5192-5192, would you please state your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. This is Mohammed Sadale from Minnesota. Mr. Kouyateh, welcome. For me, I know you've been calling some of us to make a case, but I don't know, somebody has already asked this question. I'm very sorry. But we have one of our brothers in a race. I want to know which political party will you be running as a standard bearer for, and what are some of the things that you're looking at if the community or the head or the Mandingo head come around and say you should step aside for now and give chance to Brother Ali Sila. What would be your stand, Mr. Kouyateh?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dolly. President Dolly.
Thank you very much. As regards my stand as to whether I will accept the will of the people, Sheikh Kouyateh is not representing Mandingo as a senator. He's not going to be senator for Mandingo County. I'm going to be senator for Montserrado County. I have aspiration. If the people of Montserrado decide that Sheikh, we want Ali Silai to go to contest instead of you, I will let him go. And besides, let me tell you something. Ali Silai and Sheikh Kouyateh are not opposition. We are not even opponents. We are close family members. Ali is my senior brother and somehow my uncle. Ali, one of his senior sisters, was once married to my father. And I have two brothers from that marriage, which made Ali Silai my uncle. So people shouldn't look at Ali Silai to be a problem for Sheikh Kouyateh. And Sheikh Kouyateh, as I told you, has created employment for himself and other people. He's not seeking for employment. He's just seeking for a job to help the people. And the only way he can help the people, he's been helping the people in so many ways, but there are some blockage. So the only way he can continue to help the people is to be in the system. The system where when people come with investment, they will not be deprived of helping Liberian people. They will not be asked to pay for helping their people. So this is why I tell you that Sheikh Kouyateh, it is given the chance by the people. I will continue to say it, by the people. If they gave him the benediction, go. I will go. And they say, son, don't go yet. I will stay. Believe me, I'm a man that believes in my people. And the people are those I want to govern. I'm not going to govern my house. I'm not going to govern the animal kingdom. I'm going to govern the people of Montserrado County. If they want me, they will petition me. If they don't want me, they won't petition me. So once I'm not petitioned, I will not go. As regards party affiliation, for now I cannot tell you which party I'm going with, or which party I decided to ride with. For one fact, that I have not been given a go-ahead, as I said. And I repeatedly said to you that I am still having consultation. So this is where we are, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you. There are a lot of you follow-up callers who have made entry to obviously ask follow-up questions, and I promise you we'll get to you, but we just give you a little preference to first-time callers. So with that said, we'll take 6377-6377. Your name, where you calling from, your question for Sheikh Kouyateh.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kumar, for giving me the chance to ask questions to one of our candidates. First of all, my name is Amarakita, and I'm calling from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. First of all, may I take this opportunity to welcome our senatorial candidate, even though he had just told that he's still on the exploratory gear. Having said that, I know I'm one of those Liberians who strongly believe that every Liberian has an equal shot to run for any office he or she chooses. But then having said that, I know politics is it's a game of chance and lose, and loss, as well as something you go into politics hoping that you will make a difference. At the end of the day, only the voters, many of us who are asking questions here today will not be actually voting, but we are only trying to see what the kind of candidates that is being put before our people for election. My question is, I know you are contesting. If you decide at the end of the day, if the people of Montserrado decide that you should contest for this office, and you will be contesting with people who have evidence and who think that they have record to put before the Liberian people. So, like for example, Mr. Silla will say, I've involved myself in these civil organizations. And I know Joe Opia will say, well, I also helped Liberia during the time of the crisis. In you being a businessman, and we all know the motive of a businessman is to profit. But then on the community level, okay, besides your business involvement, attracting foreign investors to Liberia. On the community level, you mentioned rightly that Montserrado has 17 electoral districts. What practical involvement have you had in those districts that will actually inspire the people to say, well, Mr. Kouyateh is our preferred candidate?
Thank you, Mr. Keita.
Thank you, my brother. First of all, you just made mention of George Weah and Ali Silla. Let me just remind you something, my brother. George Weah can boast that he has played for Liberian national team, the Lone Star, and he became the world best in soccer. He became the European best in soccer. He became African best in soccer. What can you tell me? Where and when did George Weah got involved in politics? As regards to Ali Silla, because the answer to Ali Silla in the question, publicity about you, Ali is my brother. I knew Ali when he left my river to go to Egypt when they went to the United States. When did Ali get involved in youth empowerment, in advocacy? My advocacy I'm doing is not a cause noise. I don't believe in causing noise. I believe in changing things, transformation. That's what I believe in. I'm not here to criticize people, but I can tell you that I have done a lot. If you want to mention, I will not mention to you what I have done. But like what Alassane done today, out of one day, or probably while we are online, somebody will call and say, Sheikh, have done this for me. I have done a lot for people. I have gone to schools. I don't help based on ethnicity. I don't help based on religious connectivity. I help based on Liberia, based on the future of our people. I'm one of the young men who don't even know, who didn't even have the best time as a youth due to conflict beyond justification. I grew up in conflict. I went to school in conflict. Went to school where bullets flying everywhere, and went to school hungry. I went through that. And those young people of Montserrado County, 80% of them went through that. We have lived in a community, in a society, where we go to bed hungry. We don't even have time to dream. And I tell you, if you have dreamers, Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh is not a dreamer. He's a visionary. You understand? So those are my advocacies. I advocate for change. Our people are drinking unsafe water, and I have tried to bring them safe drinking water. Where I try to show them that they have to pay for something, I make it worth $5 where they buy and drink safely. That's an advocacy. An advocate of securing the people's life, of protecting their life through sanitation. It's an advocacy. An advocacy of creating jobs for people is an advocacy. An advocacy of making peace in the community is an advocacy. And those are advocacies I have been making. Those advocacies are what? Commendable. So thank you so much. If you don't know anything about Sheikh, these are some of the things that Sheikh Kouyateh have been doing. May God bless you, my brother.
All right, Sheikh, we will keep taking questions here. I will say that over here now is 5:39 Minnesota time, so that's probably 6:39 East Coast, and that's certainly 11:39 in Liberia. So we will be wrapping up not too far from now, but we got a lot of follow-up callers here. My queue is choked. My queue is full right now for people who want to make who want to ask follow-up questions. So let's begin taking some of those follow-up questions. Let's clear them out. We'll begin with 6105. I believe that was Zizi today. Anthony Zizi. Well, Zizi, welcome back to the Liberian Diaspora Forum. Your follow-up question, comment, and questions, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much again, Mr. Kumar, for taking my question. And I also want to just give thanks to Mr. Kouyateh. I know I listen to some of your critics, and this is what I always tell people. I always like to be the underdog. Underdogs always have vision. And I listen to him. Some of the questions he answered were very, very pleasing to me. Like one of the questions somebody asked, suppose somebody go chief you, he said, no, I'm not representing the people. I'm representing the people of Montserrado. We, the Liberians, have to be thinking like the way the young man is thinking right now. Sorry if I call you young man. I'm checking about you, so calling young. You may be older than me, but I appreciate some of those answers. Change is hard to come. But people with vision will bring change that we can believe in. And listening to the man, I think most of the answers really, I like them. I do like, it's not about the popularity that makes you the leader, it's the vision you have. Now, the only question I have for the brother is this. There is a comment on Facebook. I actually put a lot of stuff on that comment regarding, I know if people bring, we have some guys that promoting the image of the government of Liberia, which we all believe in. I love my country so much. But wherein we don't stand for the truth is where sometimes I disagree. An example is the military serving in Mali. I know to bring pictures of our young men and women who are contributing to UN effort in Mali. And I'm a little bit concerned. A Liberia that does not have a standing army. In other words, we are paying people to keep peace for us. The money we pay to foreign peacekeepers, 1 month salary is more than a yearly salary a typical Liberian army may receive, which is injustice. Right. So I was commenting on that Facebook argument that, look, way back, we contributed to United Nations peacekeeping mission in Congo. My father went to Congo as well. So it's not that we are mean, but right now we're not just in the position because we are not even able to peace because we don't have the army. We have other people keeping our peace. If Mr. Kouyateh was in the House of Senate and this come to your table, will you vote to send the little people we have trained to stay and guide us, to send them to another country when you have other people keeping peace in your own country? That's the question.
Thank you, Mr. Zizi.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Indeed, you have spoken well. That has also been my concern. Sometimes how can you have somebody as a get men to your yard, protecting your yard with a pistol, and you just have nothing but a baton, and you leave their yard to go and protect another person's yard? The AFL is neglected. I must admit. I have a brother who is with the army. I know what he's going through. The government is not actually showing much support for the army. And first of all, let me tell you something. I totally disagree with the Liberian government have a Nigerian chief of staff. But what can we do? The parliament should be the one to stop such a thing. And so these things are not happening. And that is why we want to go in there, to make some changes. Imagine Monrovia city mayor has been elected acting city mayor because the president wants it to be done this way. And how can you have someone doing good when there's no competition? If there's election for the mayory, I can tell you that Montserrado or Monrovia will become one of the finest and cleanest cities. We have to do something. But Sheikh Kouyateh cannot do anything until he's in the house. The question, if I'm in the house, will you vote them to go? No, I will never let them go. And will you have the Nigerian as a chief of staff? No, I will never let that to happen. That is why we need some changes. That is why we all have to be involved. In the diaspora, you have to come, we all have to be involved. So thank you, my brother.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kouyateh. Still moving on. Our next follow-up caller will be Mr. Obi Bamba. Our next follow-up caller. Mr. Bamba, welcome back to Liberian Diaspora Forum. Your follow-up question, comment, or concern, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I just have a very simple question for Mr. Kouyateh for the second time. Mr. Kouyateh.
Yes, sir.
What is, listening to you, I think you are doing extremely well in the private sector. But I want to know what is so hard for you in the private sector that you think is going to be easier for you in the Senate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bamba.
Thank you, my brother.
Go ahead, Mr. Kouyateh.
All right, Mr. Bamba. In response to that, I, along with other Liberians, have been contacted by foreign partners. Like, for example, I brought somebody here to do a real estate, to build like 250 homes for people. And we couldn't get a support from government, approval. Just approval, no funding from the government, but just an approval for the government to get a company. That was not possible. I brought partners who were willing to help Liberia to have our own flight, where we have Air Liberia. We were not granted because the connectivity in government is not there, or because Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh is not in government. There are a lot I want to do for my country. I see my country naked, and I want to clothe my country. Liberia is walking naked, and people are jeering Liberia. And Sheikh cannot sit. You don't even have the face to sit and look at Liberia going that way. So that's why I'm taking the trousers, running to put the trousers on Liberia. But a belt to tighten that trouser is a state power, and that's what we need. To tighten that belt, that trouser, is a state power, and that's why I want to go in the Senate. And I believe you. I believe that when I'm given the chance to go there, you will see big changes. A change that will give satisfaction to the greeted, or change that will make the wealth payment to have pity for the poor, or change that will make the better to have love for one another, or change that will make Liberians to realize that Liberia depends on them, and they are the only people that can develop Liberia. No matter how educated you are, no matter how wealthy you are, once you don't know where you come from, you can never know where you're going. So we have to understand that we have a priority, and that's Liberia. And that's why Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh has achieved a lot in the private sectors. So he's continuing his achievement in the public sectors, which I believe. With the support I'm gathering now from my people of Montserrado County, we have victory. The victory is not Kouyateh victory. The victory is not of my family, but it will be a victory for our generation. It will be a victory for our country. And I tell you, my brother, give us support. Give me a benediction. That Sheikh Kouyateh is not a candidate that will call you for fundraising. But Sheikh Kouyateh will only ask you for benediction. And that's all we need from you. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. In the interest of time, we'll keep moving on, but like the previous question, I had understood that question to me as a successful, even as successful as you are in the private sector. The question was, what is troubling, what is of a serious challenge to you now that you think if you were to be elected as the next senator of Montserrado County, that would not be of challenge? But in the interest of time, we'll keep going here, Mr. Kouyateh. Thank you. You're doing well. Mr. Musa Wole, Honorable Wole, welcome back to the Liberian Diaspora Forum. Your follow-up question, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. First, I'd like to say thank you for the clarification you made earlier regarding the misconception that was had about the individuals that came on the show.
Yeah.
But Mr. Kouyateh, thank you for being patient and staying up to this time. Well, I just wanted to quickly clarify. Did you say politicians do not have belief? That's one. The second thing I would like to talk about,
I didn't get you clear.
Did you at any point say politicians do not have belief? Because one of the things we are very careful with when we...
I didn't say that.
No, I'm coming. One of the things we're very careful with, I don't know, the moderator did not tell you from the onset, the program is recorded and it's normally published on YouTube. It stays there forever. So I just wanted to clarify that. My next question is, you keep talking about you don't want to say what you have done. People will speak for you. But in politics, you cannot hide from your achievement. And the achievement cannot walk to people. You have to tell people what you have done because everybody's not on the ground to see what you have done. I've known you a little bit, but other people did not know you. When I knew you, it was not in national politics. It was not in national advocacy. Okay. So I don't know where is that coming from that you say you don't want to tell people what you have done and the record will speak for itself. That's just one observation. Another one is you say your advocacy is to provide benevolent services like help the people, bring water, and people pay cheaper money for the water and stuff. I'm in humanitarian work, but sometimes when you're doing humanitarian work, you have to advocate because your work will have to be interpreted into something reliable that you want to see happening. So take, for example, I'm into children. I'm advocating for free primary education, sustainable primary education, providing buses for children to go to school, providing health care for children to go to school, and ensuring that children eat when they go to school. That cannot be done by looking for people to support that. Even if I have people that will give me $1 million a day, it won't be sustainable unless the government come in to help. And that can only be done by advocating for a legislation that will go into place. So I'm just asking do you have any plan to introduce some powerful legislation that will sustain some of the benevolent services you're giving?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wole.
Thank you, Mr.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Wole. As you said, it is true that it's good sometimes to speak of yourself. But when you were president of NAMSA, Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh was one of those young men who supported you and who helped in the foundation of that institution. And the reason why I have great respect for you, at the time you served as the first president of NAMSA, you did extremely well. And we worked together, and that Sheikh has been doing a lot for the community. Like for those who don't know Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh, Sheikh Kouyateh had been in business from the day he left high school. When I was in school, I took part in student politics. I took part in election as a presidential candidate. The preliminary result was 25% Sheikh Kouyateh won, and we were 4 candidates, and the final result, Sheikh was announced the victor. And he accepted the result based on the colorfulness of democracy. I have been doing a lot for our people, and I've been doing a lot for myself. There's no wealth in my profile where I seek employment, but I create employment and I give people jobs. I think that's what advocacy which have spoken for ourselves. When I say I don't like to speak, I'm an action man. I'm an actioner. When I do things, you feel it. It's not just a word. I do it, and you feel it. That's why I don't speak, because what I do speaks for itself. There are a lot of young people today who work in government through my recommendation, though I'm in private sector. And the reason why Sheikh Kouyateh is actually planning to go into the public sector is that there are a lot of blockage. We have good people than bad people in government, though there are more good people than bad people. But there are a lot of people today in our government, in our country, who don't really have this country at heart. I have great respect for politicians. I have great respect for our elders, and I have great respect for those who have been in politics for a very long time, because they have been doing their best. But we are following them. We are following what they have been doing. For every step, there's another step added. So, my brother, thank you so much for what you are saying. But I can tell you that very soon, when I'm confirmed as a candidate, I will open up my website for the public, where they'll know much about me and what I have done. But for now, I'll remain silent on that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Kouyateh. As I said earlier, we got probably no more than 30 minutes left of this program. We'll keep taking questions from the audience, and some of you just joined us, as is always the case. And let me take this time to once again welcome you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. We have with us tonight Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh, an aspirant for 2014 Montserrado County senatorial position. And so if you haven't had a chance to ask your question, make a comment, or express concern, you still have time to do so. Please dial *61 on your phone, and we will take your questions over to him. But keep in mind, we only have 30 minutes left. And as I said, tomorrow Monday, we have a very special edition of this program that will be featuring CDC Tough Talking Representative Honorable Akaras Gray, who is currently in the U.S. here. Honorable Gray will be on the show tomorrow to gauge and perform and grade the performance of the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government. I believe, I don't want to miss that. I don't think he should. Obviously, Honorable Gray is known for saying a whole lot of things. He's a tough talking representative, no question about that. So you do not want to miss that tomorrow night, about 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Moving on, we'll take questions. Let's take this new caller, and then we'll come back to these follow-up callers. 5728, 5728. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh.
Thank you very much. My name is Bangali Trawala. Live in Minnesota. And I'm very pleased to be on this line today. And I may say quickly that I'm serve today as the president of the Mandingo organization, the Federation of Liberian Association in America. And I pretty much listen to our brother, and I just want to commend him for his action, his desire to vie for this prestigious position in Liberia. I think he's capable of doing what we all envision. The father, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, he has helped to improve our economy, increase our GDP, put food on other people's table. That's a plus for him. That's something like that we I think should encourage. And I'd like to also thank you very much for what I would return some, courtesy, respect. Without seeing me, without knowing me anywhere, you remain in Liberia, give me a call, and explain your vision to me, your desire, and your willingness to work with the community, and the rest of it. I think that was something I might, commend you for. Thank you very much for doing that, and I share that with the community, that a brother indeed by the name of Sheikh Kouyateh. I have not met him before, but I think he means well. He wrote us, and he made a follow-up call, and these are the kind of actions some of us really, really appreciate. You talk about willing to listen to the community. If the people decide that you run, you will run. If they say, son, don't run now, you will also yield to that, you listen to that. That's a positive step, and we're looking forward to see how that will play out. But I think your desire is very good. Your answers to questions are very well in place, and I encourage you to carry on your good job in the private sector. Being in private sector is a good thing. You don't have to work in office to just wait for your check. But when you can take 1 or 2 persons from in the street and put food on their table, I think that's a plus. Here in America, people who in the private sector are, value more than people who been in public sector all along. That's an asset, because you creating, your ingenuity is making what you're doing, not what has already been there. So thank you. Continue your good job. Listen to the people. And from there, you shall see what you want. So I just want to commend you for what you did and what you continue to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Rawale. Mr. Kouyateh, if you don't have anything further to add to that, let me ask you this question here, and then we'll continue taking the rest of our follow-up callers here. Now, we in the diaspora, Mr. Kouyateh, are very troubled by some of the developments in Liberia. For instance, I tell you right now, I know for a fact that many Liberians in the diaspora are troubled by the fact that lawmakers are making so much money. Senators, the position that you wish to contest, we are told that senators are making anywhere between $8,000 to $9,000 a month, while representatives are making $7,000. Now, for a country emerging out of civil war, you said many times earlier today, I remember you saying your country is naked, you want to clothe your country. Liberia is suffering, no question about that. And the other thing we are concerned about is the term of office for both the president, for both senators and representatives. Senators are elected for what? Is it 9 years? 9 years they are elected, while representatives are elected for 6 years. And when Senator Joy Howard Taylor came on this show both times, I asked her this question that I'm about to ask you. Will you, as a senator, if you were elected as the next senator of Montserrado County, will you be willing, will you support legislations that will, for instance, reduce the amount of money and benefit that current senators and representatives are making? And will you also support any legislation that will seek to reduce the term of office for senators?
Well, Mr. Kumar, thank you so much for the question. I can tell you for sure that when Sheikh Kouyateh is elected as senior senator of Montserrado County, he will speak against the long term. The 9 years term is too long. If there's a need, if there's a need, I repeat, if there's a need for reduction, so 7, 8 years, I will accept it. And when I'm a senator, I will also advocate for 25% discount of our total salary to the public sector, to the civil servant. And that many of our people are living on $1.30 per day, which is incredible. Civil servants are taking $100 monthly, while senators are taking $7,000 and plus. I don't think that's a good image. That is what I tell you. That Sheikh Kouyateh will not be a senator who will live in a community where he's riding 60,000 cars, and 80% of those living in that county can even provide wheelbarrow for themselves. I remember when I was a child, when my father used to travel on vacation to Nimba County, when we have a low petroleum on the highway, we had a substation where we buy petroleum. But let me tell you something for sure today. When I'm traveling with my children to take them to my village, and I have shortage of petroleum, I buy in minus Jai. In the 80s, it was substation. And in 2000, 30 years after, I buy in minus Jai. That shows how unprepared is our people, how unprepared is our country. And that shows how backward is our nation. And that is why we have to get involved. Politics is not a special profession. We are all politicians by nature. We are made in the image of God. And that alone makes you a politician. And God said, that makes you in my image, and He do the positive things that can live after you. That can be a monument. I don't need a monument to be built for me when I leave state power or when I'm dead, to be a concrete monument built on the street of Broad Street. But I need a monument that when I'm gone, like the monument I'm living on today, that's my model monument. That it will say, oh, this young man, his mother was a nice person. Oh, this young man is a nice person. He's a good man. Oh, his children, oh, your father was a great person. But I don't want to be called, I don't want my children to be pointed at, oh, this children's father was a terror. This children's father was a corrupt official. I don't want that. I want to lay the premise. A big example where the people of Montserrado County and Liberia as a whole will be proud that they have a young man as a senator who served them well and left with integrity and dignity. Thank you, brother.
All right. We'll keep moving on in the interest of time. So let's take one more follow-up question, and then let's try to. We got about 24 minutes left, so we are getting well to the end of the show. Once again, thank you, folks, and thank you, Mr. Kouyateh, for staying up this late to make your case. 0357, I believe this is Mr. Sekukena, 0357. Welcome back to the Liberian Diaspora for a weekly talk show. Your follow-up question, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, for giving me the opportunity again. I have questions for Mr. Kouyateh. Actually, I have two questions from two statements that he made. I just want you to go on record on this, to be on record on this, so that, tomorrow, Senator Kouyateh, former Senator Kouyateh, former candidate Kouyateh, we can hold him by those statements. In one of your responses, you said somebody asked whether if the Madingo elders asked you to step aside, and you responded that you are now, correct me if I'm wrong, that you are now a Madingo candidate, or you're not going to be Madingo senator or something like that. As you may know, any politician, politics begins at home. Whether you like it or not, without your people, you can't beat nobody. No single ethnic group in Liberia can win election just by their ethnic group. However, you cannot win any election either without your people. So I want you to be on record on this, whether you can make some clarification on that, or you categorically want to throw the Madingo community under the bus. That's the first question. The second question, you said you are not a candidate who is coming on here to ask for donation, or rather for a prayer. I think that statement is not a healthy statement for any politician. That's that you may be rich, you may have no money, but I don't think any politician can only depend on their personal money or on their pocket to win any political office. To me, it's a boastful statement, and I think you can make necessary correction if necessary. I mean, if you can. If not, if you stand by the statement, you can just go ahead and tell us that. I just want you to be on record on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. In answer to your first question, Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh clearly stated that he is not contesting for the senatorial seat of Mandingo County, but for Montserrado County, which includes all tribes of this nation. And let me tell you something. The diversity of Montserrado County is a source of strength for me, not a cause of division. We are all Liberians. We must learn to walk under one umbrella, to live in peace and security, to access quality education, accountable to our tithes, transparency in discharging it, and equal opportunity for all, to love our families and our communities and our faith. That is our common goal as God's children. As to your second question, what you said, that Sheikh Kouyateh said he is not seeking for fundraising. If you believe there is a need that you have a fundraising to help Sheikh Kouyateh, you have a choice. But Sheikh Kouyateh is not asking you this time, but an assistant. Because what are you giving the fund to me for? Why do you want to give Sheikh Kouyateh the fund? He's not yet a candidate. And once a fund is collected, it has to be accounted for. It happened a few years back. There was a candidate that left from Liberia and went to the state. You rather supported their fundraising for him at all. What happened? Were there any justification for those funds? So Sheikh Kouyateh is saying this time he's an aspirant. He's not a candidate. He's only seeking for your benevolence. That's a point of correction. Sheikh didn't say that he doesn't want support from Mandingo people. Sheikh is from Mandingo. His mother was one of the top and strong Mandingo women, who was the first Mandingo woman to serve as the vice chairman for the National Traditional Council of Liberia, the first Mandingo woman to serve as national coordinator of the National Muslim Council, the first Mandingo woman to have handshake and take photograph of American president, the first Mandingo woman who received the United Nations Secretary General, Kofi Annan, the first Mandingo woman who has traveled with President Taylor, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, from place to place due to her uprightness. And that's what I represent. And that's the umbrella I'm moving under. I tell you, Sheikh Kouyateh is not seeking for senatorial of Mandingo County because there's no county in Liberia called Mandingo County. We have Montserrado County, and that's what I'm seeking for, if I'm given the chance. And Sheikh now saying is I'm boastful. I'm not a wealthy man. I'm not knowledgeable than you. I'm not wealthier than you. I'm not wise than you. If I was knowledgeable than you, I would have declared my intention like how others did it. I would have allowed to be patient like how others did it. But because I'm still seeking consultation, I feel I know nothing, you know all. I feel I have nothing, you have all. That is why I'm still having consultation. And that is why I'm not asking you to do a fundraising for me. Why you do a fundraising and give to me? And I'm not concerned of the candidate. What do you do with the money? How do you get the money back for me? How do you disburse the money back to the people that give the money? That's a clarification, my brother. May God bless you.
Okay, just quickly though, just a quick added clarification on that before we move on here. So it makes perfect sense that since you haven't decided as to whether you're going to make a run or not, it's probably not appropriate to begin fundraising. So now my question then becomes, somebody spoke highly in favor of you today, and that person closed his remark by pledging $200, and he did not reject that. You gladly thank him for that. So isn't that a political contribution?
That's a benediction.
Oh, donation.
Let me tell you something, my brother. That's a benediction. I saw benediction. He gave it, and the way he gave will be given to the society, to our community. Those in the state that they will use it, we will use it for the best purpose. That will be the first amount of money to be opening an account, and he will keep it for us.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kouyateh. So let's take a new caller here. 4194, 4194. First, keep in mind we got less than 20 minutes left in this program. So 4194, your name, where are you calling from, and your question for Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh, 4194.
Yes, my name is Lansana Kuruma. I'm a Sierra Leonean.
Welcome, Mr. Kuruma.
Yes, I'm just asking two questions briefly to Mr. Kouyateh. One, how best can you accountable between you and the other candidates based on your political participation to help the people so far? Because you have to start from what you have done in order for us to know what you will do in the future. My second question is, what will be your concern since we have become brothers and sisters within the Mano River Union? What best can you do to make that relationship more cordial and not to be dispute, since you are very, very concerned about togetherness and not that much of tribe? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kuruma.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much, Mr. Kuruma. Thank you, my uncle. As regards the Mano River Union, I was in Ghana 1 month ago. I was invited by the Speaker of the Ghanaian Parliament, and I had a meeting with him. I was also in La Côte d'Ivoire, where I met the President of the Senate, former Prime Minister Soro Guillaume, and I was in Sierra Leone recently, where I met the Minister of Internal Affairs and the Parliament of Sierra Leone, and I have this consultation with them. And I'll be traveling, hopefully, in 10 days from now to Guinea to have consultation with Guinean parliaments. So I have already started having that relation with the various parliaments of West Africa. I can assure you that Sheikh Kouyateh will be a parliamentarian of senators that will unite not only the Mano River Union, but West Africa and Africa as a whole. And as regards the question to the various candidates that will be contesting in the election, let me tell you something, my brother. I am awakened by the cry for the rule of law, which ensures the equal administration of justice on civil participation so that young people and others get involved and on concrete solution to the ills of our society. Montserrado County is not ready to be bought, nor can it be. Montserrado County is not we're looking for celebrities. Neither it is seeking for popularity. But it requires energetic, accessible, honest, submissive, cooperative leader that will enhance the emancipation of the people. That is what our people want. So I have no fear. I can tell you, with the numerous people named, with the name mentions in the race, when I'm given the chance and the support from my people to contest, I can assure you that it's time, 2014, you will have a new senator in Montserrado County called Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kouyateh. Moving on. 2406-2406. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for Mr. Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh. 2406. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Sheikh Moustapha Kouyateh.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh, how are you? You sound like my sister.
You know what? You are already my senator. Whether you run or not run, whether you win or not win, you are already my senator. Thank you very much tonight for everything, and I really appreciate you. You are my mother's son. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much.
That's it.
Okay. All right. So we'll take our remaining follow-up callers here. We'll go to Mr. Amara Keita, 6377. Mr. Keita, welcome back to LIBERIAN Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. Your follow-up question, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kuma, for giving me another chance. First of all, may I say thanks, Mr. Kouyateh, for the good responses so far you have given to the questions that have been asked. And as you rightly said, that you are not running as senator for Mandingo County, but rather Montserrado County. I think that question was a very appropriate response at this time. I want to make a question. My question here is, from experience, we all know that people have used governments and the corridors of power to enrich themselves in Africa. Liberia is no exception. And you mentioned that your effort to bring investors to Liberia all failed simply perhaps because you were not in government. And this seems to me that your campaign for senatorial seat at this time is driven by your business motive. Am I correct to say this? Okay, the second question is, why are you hesitant to let us know the political party you are leaning towards? I mean, when you come to us and say you are being petitioned by the people in a particular area, under what political party are they asking you to contest? I take my question off the air. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Keita. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Kouyateh. Yeah.
Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh will not mention any party now because he's not a candidate. I'm an aspirant. The second question, which I didn't get clear, Mr. Kroma, if you can help me to, repeat that to me, I would be very happy to respond to you quickly.
Let me see here. The first question here, Mr. Tim, we'll try to get the question very rightly because we still have Mr. Keita here, so I'll just give you the opportunity. Mr. Keita, would you please restate your second question?
Yeah, my question was, we know from experience that people have used power, government and the corridor of power to enrich themselves. And you have just told that your effort to bring investors to Liberia were all denied, or perhaps because you are not in government. Okay? Because if you are not in government, people will try to frustrate your effort. This sounds to me that your motive for senatorial seat at this time is driven by a business motive. Am I correct to say this?
Okay.
You're wrong, sir. In response to your question, my senatorial aspiration is not to enrich myself. I am a young man who started my business with 8.
Okay, we've lost Honorable Sheikh Kouyateh again. The line just dropped. And it dropped at a very bad time. I say this to say we've lost you at the time. We've got just 10 minutes left to go on. So let's hope that he makes a quick comeback so that we can finish the show. Otherwise, we're going to have to finish it without him. It's been a great show so far. There's still a lot of people on here, amazingly. So, okay, he's back. But Sheikh Kouyateh just joined us again, so I'll take him right now. Oh, Kouyateh? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, as I was saying, that I started business with $8. And I'm not boastful, but I can tell you that today I have a capital of more than $500,000. So I'm not seeking for employment, neither am I seeking for wealth. The reason why we have corruption in our government is that we have people who are financially ill, who don't have anything for themselves, who have never even make $1 to $2. But a man who has make $8 to hundreds of thousands of dollars, I believe he can also change the Liberian people from a disastrous state, from a begging state, to an independent state. So I'm not doing it to seek wealth. I'm okay with what I have. Thank you, my brother, for that correction.
Okay. Well, we're running really. We run out of time so quickly. So, but let me. So, Mr. Kouyateh, it's 2014. Hypothetically speaking, it's 2014, and I believe the election should be somewhere around October. And I'm in Liberia. I want to vote for one of the many candidates running to be senator in Montserrado County. Can you tell me 2 reasons why I should cast my vote for you and not for George Weah, not for Ali Sila, and not for any other candidate but you? Why? Can you give me 2 reasons?
Thank you. One of the reasons is that among the candidates, one becomes successful through sport. And I'm not being critic. but he doesn't have. He hasn't done anything for those. Let me tell you something. We have a very beautiful history in this country, Mr. Croman. Your community have been making kings and queens. There's no Ambassador Weah become successful through the Liberian people. They help him. They change his life. They transform his life. And Ambassador Weah also has the responsibility to go back to the slum and take another young people from there and change their life, transform their life, and make it to be another great players of the world. They have not done that. My uncle Ali Sila, he just became an advocate, I think, a few months back. When he was given government scholarship to achieve something, and he came back, he has actually been doing well by being connected to the young people. I respect him for that. But positively, what has he done? He lives close to West Point. He has America connection. He has America dream. What does he have to change the face of West Point? But Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh, who started life with $8, has changed people's lives who have never had $1, have given it, now have a program where you have young people in the various community. They are doing garbage collection. They are helping to clean our community, but they are paid for that. I help people to become independent. I think that's enough for me. That can be a reason for you to vote for Sheikh Kouyateh. That a man who can transform people's lives, the man who believes in intellectual curiosity, he should be voted for. For that reason, I believe you can vote for me for that reason.
Okay.
But many of you may think me new in our political arena. I have been an active campaigner and a generous contributor to the social economic development, the social and humanitarian gifts of this country. I'm a young man that never had opportunity to play like other youth around the world due to conflict beyond justifications. For this reason, I believe you can vote for me.
Okay.
Thank you, my
well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. Folks, sadly, I'm not taking any more questions. I'll take the ones in the queue here. I think I got 3 more follow-up callers. Just that I'm not taking. So please stop the questions now. Stop down. You start 6-1. We'll take no more than these 3 follow-up callers, and then we'll call it a night. It's been a successful night so far, if you ask me. We'll go back to Mr. Talawale for his follow-up question. Mr. Talawale, welcome back to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Week Talk Show. Your follow-up question, sir. Hello?
Hello?
1454. Hello, Mr. Talawale?
Yeah, hello. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. And I just want to say to our esteemed aspirant, Mr. Kouyateh, that in any struggle there will be challenges. And certainly your challenges will be enormous. As you prepare for national leadership, you have already, occupied yourself with the issue of societal transformation. And I just want to say to you that academically you are prepared. Intellectually, you are very strong, and you have some level of understanding in the private sector. But it's not basically a question, but just trying to commend you. And also, I just want to say this to our elders, because you have come out to tell us that once the elder decide that you should step aside, you are waiting to step aside and give any of our brothers a chance to contest. But I just want to say this to our elders, that whoever that they will select to represent, that will come from our community to represent Montserrado, that person should be, selected on the issue of qualification. It does not do it on the basis of being biased or maybe favoritism. No, we have passed that stage. We need a qualified, someone that will be more qualified to represent our society. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Mr. Talawale.
Yeah.
Thank you. Folks, once again, we repeat broadcast of tonight's show can be accessed by dialing 559-726-1299 with the access code 908209, the pound sign. Can be accessed through that at least up until privilege sometime this week, to put the show up on YouTube, just like we've done with many of our past shows. And also be reminded tomorrow evening around about this time, we will have CDC, former Secretary General, now Montserrado County District Number 8 Representative, Akaras Gray will be our guest tomorrow, and he will be attempting to grade the performance of the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf-led government. So we invite you to tune in tomorrow and see what he has to say about that. So we'll take one of our two remaining follow-up callers, and then we'll get you out of here. Mr. Kuruma, Lansana Kuruma from Sierra Leone, welcome back to the show.
Yes, thank you very much, my brother. Mr. Kouyateh, there are some things politically,
my brother.
There are some things, this is just an advice and a bit of question. Politically, they might be correct to say, socially, they might not be that much correct. And based on this type of sensitivity and the culture that we find ourselves, there are so many things that you have right to say, but sometimes you reserve them for the best time for you to say it. Then my question now is, Africa as a whole, since you said you was going to fight not only for Mano River Union, we are taking Africa. Coup d'etats are never accepted in the Western world today. It has never been, and it is not happening. Rebellion is not accepted in the Western world. America is floating everywhere in the world, doing what they are doing to protect America from rebellion, to protect America from coup d'etats and all the other Western powerful countries. And here is a small, poor country, Liberia. If you look at Liberia history, though was a military man overthrow a government, be president, you know the history of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Instead of the history, he has become the first female president. But because it's Africa, you cannot kill one single person in America and become president. You know Churchill, of course, what he did and how long he was the president. Then you think about Foday Sankoh in Sierra Leone. You think about our parliament in Africa. You think about our honorable ministers in Africa. Most of them are former rebels, former criminals. So what do you think, as a politician coming up with a very little resource, can you do or to mobilize the Africa that you want to fight for, to tell the rest of the world? Look, I'm the president for International Forum for the Rights of Black People. That's why I'm asking this question. What can you do? Since the Jewish people, up to this point, they are still arresting people in the world for the genocide against the Jewish community. But our own history, they are arresting nobody around the world. We have become refugees, political refugees, and social refugees. What can you do to protect Africa from such things, since the West is not ready to accept Africa as part of the world? We have been classified as a third world citizens of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kuruma.
Thank you, Mr. Kuruma. Thanks also for that brilliant question. In response to your question, Mr. Kuruma, first of all, it is disheartening, like what you say about Africa having rebellion in our continent. But I believe the solution to this is that we first of all have to identify the problems. So when the problems are identified, the solution can be taken, to solve them. But dialogue is the first thing that I believe is a solution to our problems. And education is also a problem. A lot of our military leaders and our parliamentarians or most government officials are not giving jobs based on merit, but based on connectivity, based on connection. And that African solidarity have been forgotten. The reason why the whites classify Africa as third world countries is that we have forgotten ourselves. The African man is ashamed to even eat with his hand when he has a foreign partner. An African man is ashamed, like my country. We are ashamed to even speak our dialect when we are among other people. But if you look at Nigeria, you look at South Africa, and you look at Eastern Africa, when they go out, they speak their dialect. So the white men respect them. So you can only be respected if you understand who you are. And Africa can only move forward if Africans realize where they came from and have to actually study who they are. In most of our universities and high schools, we don't do African studies. They do American history. They do European history. So until we can start to know ourselves, we will continue the terror class. Because when we know ourselves, we'll tell people who we are. Until we can know who we are, we will be in this situation. But I believe that once we take dialogue as a solution to our problems, we will have no more conflict rebellion in Africa. And besides that, we have to encourage our children to know about tradition and culture. These are also important for us. There are a lot of things in our tradition that are good. Like you look at the homosexual. There's nowhere in African tradition you can find that. That's inhuman. But you find it in the West. We embrace it because they are doing it in the West. Prostitution came from the West. So we have to do something to have our heritage, to regain our pride. Once we can do that, our problems will be solved and we will be respected, and the image of Africa will be bright. Thank you, my brother.
All right, Mr. Kouyateh. Usually we tend to save the best for the last. And I say that to say the lone contributor to your aspiration, so to speak, not candidacy yet, will be our last caller for the night. And what I suggest you do, once we take his comment, concern, and or question, whatever it is, I suggest you begin your closing remarks, and along that line, you can address whatever it is he has to say. Once you do that, we will bring the program to a close. We started 4 o'clock today. It's been well over 2 hours, 30 minutes, and I know it's getting very late in Liberia. And tomorrow is Monday. As a businessman, obviously, you need some rest, to get your day going tomorrow. So it's been a great show. We want to thank you for being here and thank all the other people who are here with us. So let's take our last caller for the night, last follow-up caller for the night. And once he's done, just go ahead and start your closing remark and address the last caller's concern, comment, or question in the process. So our last caller happens to be 1963, I believe. That's Crazy. Crazy, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Honorable Command. Thank you, Honorable Sheikh Kouyateh. I just have a comment to make to our many listeners tonight that in the coming days, friends of Sheikh Kouyateh will be organizing a fundraising event. So we will be raising money for the campaign. For those who want to contribute or form part of this fundraising event, you can get hold of me. My phone number is 612-229-1963, 612-229-1963. It will be organized here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We'll extend our hands to our friends in other parts of the state. So we encourage everybody. We take a donation from $5 up to $100, $200 to $1,000. So anyone who wants to contribute towards this great process, please get hold of us so we all can do it together. Honorable Sheikh, you get our back, and we believe in you, and we believe that you can deliver. Thank you so much for giving us a lot of information about who you are. For people that don't know you, now they have heard from yourself. So thank you so much, Honorable Kroma, and thank you. That's all I want to say.
Thank you, Mr. Donzo Sheikh. So I would now leave you with the floor to make your closing remark, and if you care to acknowledge what Donzo just said, that's great. But in doing so, there you go again. You say you're not doing collection at this time. You're not seeking fundraising at this time. But here we go again. So you have the floor, sir, for your closing remark. Go ahead, Honorable Sheikh Al-Moustapha Kouyateh.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Kroma. I think Mr. Donzo just stated that friends of Sheikh Kouyateh. That's not the official campaign team of Sheikh Kouyateh. These are friends of Sheikh Kouyateh who have decided to undertake social attacks. But I would like to also use this medium to extend my heartfelt appreciation to you, Mr. Kroma, and all of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, and those been listening to us tonight, for the countless strides and untiring efforts in maintaining the harmony and oneness of this glorious land of ours, Liberia. I truly embrace the engagements and the commonness of our interests to ensure our country moves forward through democratic means. May God bless Liberia. May God bless Montserrado. May God continue to uplift Africa. I love you all. May God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kouyateh. Folks, don't forget to join us tomorrow for Akara's Great. That will do it for tonight. Once again, thanks to all for being here. You have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.